VPNs are ever increasing in popularity, and the odds are high that, seeing as you're watching this video, you've probably used one before. In doing so, you may have come to realize that there are actually several different types of VPN. You may not know exactly what type you're using or what type is being discussed when you look around online. In this video, we're going to take a look at the 4 major different types of VPN and quickly explain how they all differ. This won't be a super technical, in-depth description either, so you should be able to follow along no matter what your current level of knowledge is. For Top 10 VPN, I'm Callum. Let's get started. The 4 major types of VPN can be known by slightly different names, but we refer to them as the following: remote access VPNs, mobile VPNs, site-to-site VPNs, and personal VPNs. And while we've likely never met, I'd wager that whatever VPN it is you're interested in or are currently using, that it falls under one of those 4 categories. What you can actually use each one for and how they function on a technical level varies a great deal. So let's take a look over them to make it nice and clear. Number 1, remote access VPNs. A remote access VPN uses the internet to give you access to a private network. This usually manifests in the form of software administered by your school, university, or office. And when you connect to it from wherever it is that you are, you're now able to access files that would ordinarily only be available to you if you were physically in the same building or on the same network as them. Practical uses for this are obvious. It allows you to do things like work from home or even overseas, or access scholarly materials from your accommodation off campus. It essentially turns your device into one that's a part of the organization in question's own network. Being a VPN, though, it also encrypts that connection. And these files you're accessing or transferring are presumably sensitive. They contain professional or personal information that isn't meant to be seen by everyone. A remote access VPN adds encryption to the transfer of that data so that it can't be seen or intercepted by anyone else. The way it works typically begins with you installing some software onto your device, or perhaps it's pre-installed if it was given to you by an employer or school. The VPN server then checks your authentication to make sure that you are who you say you are. And this usually comes in the form of you simply signing in. It then establishes an encrypted connection to your device, usually using the IPsec suite of protocols. You can now access the network from outside of it securely. Number 2, mobile VPNs. Be careful not to confuse these with consumer VPNs that have a mobile app. On the surface, mobile VPNs operate very similarly to remote access VPNs. Their purpose is to let you access files and systems that can otherwise only be accessed locally using a secured internet connection. So far, so similar. But the big difference is that mobile VPNs are designed for users who need access while on the move. Ordinarily, a remote access VPN will identify your device via its IP address. However, if your internet connection changes and you connect from a different router, then your IP address will change too, and now your remote access VPN won't work anymore. Mobile VPNs are designed with this problem in mind. They provide a secure and encrypted connection to the desired network that persists even when your internet connection drops or your device moves between networks, or while using cellular data too. Here's how it works. Just as before, the VPN authenticates your connection to the desired server. It could be via a simple login, a hardware token, or key like a special drive that you plug into your device's USB port, or even a biometric verification device like a fingerprint reader. However, now, rather than taking your device's physical IP address, which is assigned to it via its internet connection, the mobile VPN instead assigns it an IP address that's specifically related to the local network it's trying to access. And with that IP address specifically associated to your device, it'll persist between networks and through disconnections, meaning that the network you're trying to reach is always accessible. While niche, mobile VPNs are particularly useful to professions like those in the emergency services who work in the field but need to ensure they have constant access to their work networks wherever they are. Number 3, site-to-site VPNs. We've established that remote access VPNs allow users to connect from outside into private networks, and the mobile VPNs make that easier and more reliable on the move. What site-to-site VPNs do is similar, except rather than connecting individuals to networks, it instead connects 2 separate networks together. The sites that we're talking about here aren't websites, but actual physical sites, real-world locations. Think of, say, a college with schools spread over multiple campuses, or a global corporation with internal networks dotted all over the world. A site-to-site VPN combines them into one single network. If the sites belong to the same organization, it would be commonly referred to as an intranet-based VPN, allowing all of its users across all sites to have equal access to all of the resources hosted across them. If the sites being combined come from separate companies, then it's commonly referred to as an extranet-based VPN. It may sound unusual, but it can be super useful in scenarios where companies are doing business together and need quick and easy access to a shared set of files, for example. Site-to-site VPNs are usually set up using one of 3 different implementations: using an IPsec tunnel, using a dynamic multi-point VPN, known as a DMVPN, or using a layer 3 VPN, known as an L3 VPN. The technicalities and differences here are numerous and long, and if you're a normal person, pretty uninteresting, so I won't get into all of it. Just know that the outcome is basically the same. Number 4, personal VPNs. Finally, personal VPNs are what we at Top 10 VPN specialize in. All of our other content on this channel and almost all of the content on our website is dedicated to personal VPNs. The ones you see advertised online or in podcasts, those big names like ExpressVPN and NordVPN, those are personal VPNs. Or consumer VPNs or commercial VPNs or a name along those lines. Rather than granting you access to a server in a specific location, like an office or school, personal VPNs instead grant you access to a whole range of servers located all around the world. Your connection to one of those servers is encrypted, and your IP address is spoofed, meaning it's replaced by one that belongs to the server itself. That means that the websites and services you use while connected communicate with the VPN server instead of your device. There's actually loads of reasons why you'd want to do this. The most basic one is that it provides a decent level of privacy and anonymity. Websites can no longer see your real IP address or physical location, and your ISP can't see what websites you visit. It can also allow you to unblock services and websites that are only available in certain regions. It's commonly referred to as geo-blocking, and by connecting to a VPN server in the region that you need, you can trick the website into showing you the content you want. No more geo-blocking. It's also a vital anti-censorship tool. There are plenty of governments around the world that block websites. The encrypted connection of a personal VPN can help mask the websites being visited, making them accessible again. Personal VPNs usually work via a software client, so basically a program or app that you install on your device. You connect to a remote server and then use the internet like usual. As promised, that was just a quick overview. So if you want to learn considerably more, then I'd recommend our dedicated guide to the different types of VPNs. Unless that page is where you're watching this video already, in which case, good job. If you have questions about any specifics, then drop me a comment. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you found this at all helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.